Amber and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to show you my overly ambitious TBR for both the Booktubeathon and the Biannual Bibliothon. They occur during about the same week at the end of July this year. I've been wanting to participate in both, so I figured I might as well try to do both. So let's get started. I plan on doubling a couple of books up to be for both a Booktubeathon challenge and a Biannual Bibliothon challenge. So I'll start with the Booktubeathon challenges, and if it also hits a Biannual Bibliothon challenge, I'll say which one that is. And at the end, if I have any challenges for Biannual Bibliothon left over that I haven't set a book for, I'll explain those challenges. The first challenge for Booktubeathon is to read a book with a person on the cover. The choice for that is Speaking Normal by Courtney Stevens. I've actually had this book on my shelf for a while, and I've actually kind of forgotten what the premise was, and I'm trying to get the books I own down, and it has a person on the cover, so I figured this would be the perfect time. The next challenge is to read a hyped book, and for this I'm also going to double up with one of the host's favorite genres, and I'm actually picking Red's from his favorite genre, which is paranormal. This book I'm actually going to read Frostbite by Rochelle Mead. This is the second book in the Vampire Academy series, and I read the first one last month, and since I know the whole series is pretty hyped, I figured I would go ahead and continue on with this one, especially since I haven't gotten to it this month for the read-along. The challenge is to read a book in one day, and I chose Because You Love to Hate Me, edited by Amory, with 13 authors collaborating with 13 booktubers. I think this would be a perfect book to read in one day, as you can spread out the stories throughout the day, and I'm really excited for this one, so I think that would be the best book to go through for one day. The main character is different from you, and I'm also going to combine this one with the Annual Bibliothon challenge. Read a book with a person who is part of the LGBTQIA+ community. For this I chose The Miseducation of Cameron Post by Emily M. Danford. I know that the character is part of the LGBTQIA+ community because hello, my parents just died in a car crash, and she's actually relieved because they won't know that she had just been kissing a girl. So I know that it will fall into that category, however I don't know where in that category it will fall. The challenge for the Booktubeathon is to read a book completely outdoors. I'm combining this one with a book to movie adaptation, and I'm also combining it with I haven't read my classic for the month. Read Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. I'm not sure which adaptation for this currently. I might even cheat and go with the Page Master because it's got that tiny bit where it's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but I know that this has probably got a plethora of adaptations that are available due to the fact it is a classic. The next challenge for the Booktubeathon is to read a book that is a cover by, and while this book's premise was partially the reason I bought it, the major reason I did get this edition was due to the cover. I actually ordered it through Book Depository so I could have the specific cover, and Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I've actually just recently gotten the audiobook for this one as well, so it'll be definitely a nice, easy way to access it throughout the week. And I'm really excited to get into this one because I've heard nothing but phenomenal things about it. Booktubeathon is to read 7 books, and so I had my friend Maggie pick me my last book from my owned TBR, and they picked Give Me Leonard Peacock by Matthew Quick. I've actually read Silver Linings Playbook by this author already, but I own this book and I haven't read it yet, and I'm really interested in it, and I've kind of forgotten what the premise is, but I know it'll probably make me cry based on what I do remember of the premise. Glad they picked something that has been on my TBR for a while. And that leaves me with 3 of the Biannual Bibliothon challenges left. I'm not doing the banned book challenge, though I'm pretty sure Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde has probably been banned at some point, but I at this point have no plans to find another book to do the banned book challenge. Leaves me with 2 of the challenges left, and the next challenge I'm going to talk about is the group book that they picked for Biannual Bibliothon, which they picked In the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. I actually have never read a Renee Ahdieh book. I'm actually on the fence on if I want to read The Wrath in the Dawn, just because it doesn't seem like something that's totally up my alley. I did end up pre-ordering this one because I know she is a very acclaimed author, and I wanted to try something by her, and this premise sounded really interesting to me. The last challenge for the Biannual Bibliothon is to read a book that you found somewhere other than Booktube. Genghis Khan and the Making of the Modern World by Jack Weatherford. Is that I haven't read my nonfiction book for the month, and I owned this one, and I owned this one because at the Sarah J. Maas signing that I went to, it recommended this book, and it sounded really so up my alley because it does sound like something I'd be super interested in because I really do I really am fascinated by Genghis Khan, so I wanted to go ahead and pick this one up. This is basically everything I plan on reading during Booktubeathon and the Biannual Bibliothon. Let me know what you plan on reading in the comments down below, and tell me if you think I'm being a little too ambitious. I hope you have a nice day. Thanks for watching!